Okay, we're going to continue on. Today I wanted to go over the Urim and the Thummim. That's part of the ephod and the breastplate. The Urim and the Thummim was a communications device that the high priest of Israel wore. And whenever they wanted to talk to God and ask God if they wanted to go in against the Amalekites, or if they wanted to start a war, if they didn't, they used the Urim and the Thummim to ask God, and it was a communications device so they could say yes, God would tell them yes, or God would tell them no. So let's read about the Urim and the Thummim. This is the Smith's Bible Dictionary. Now, if you got eSword.net, eSword, ESWORD.net. It's got like 10 different versions of the Bible. It's got the Masoretic, the old Greek Bible, the Septuagint, the Old Testament Old Bible, the Greek Bible. It's got all the old Bible forms. eSword. It's got a strong concordance, and it's got this Smith Bible Dictionary, and it's got all kinds of knowledge on eSword, so you can look stuff up without having to buy all these books that I've got. So this is the Urim and the Thummim. When the Jewish exiles were met on the return from Babylon by a question which they had no data for answering, they agreed to postpone the settlement of the difficulty till there should rise up a priest with a Urim and a Thummim. That's Ezra 2:63 and Nehemiah 7:65. Now Ezra and Nehemiah, Ezra rebuilt after the 70-year captivity. Ezra was given the stuff to build or rebuild Solomon's temple. It was totally destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar, and the gates and the walls were repaired by Nehemiah. Now, the inquiry what those Urim and Thummim themselves were seems likely to wait as long for a final and satisfying answer. On every side we met with confusions of ignorance. Urim means light, and Thummim means perfection. Scriptural statements. The mysterious words met us by the first time as they were needed no explanation in the description of the high priest's apparel. Over the ephod there is to be a breastplate of judgment, of gold, scarlet, purple, and fine linen, folded square and double, a span in length and width. And in it are to be set 4 rows of precious stones, each stone with the name of a tribe of Israel engraved on it. Then Aaron may bear them on his heart. Then comes a further order inside the breastplate, as the tables of the covenant were placed inside the ark. That's Exodus 25:16 and 28:30 are to be placed, the Urim and the Thummim, the light and the perfection, and they are to be on Aaron's heart when he goes in before the Lord. Exodus 28:15 through 30. Not a word describes them. They are mentioned as things already familiar both to Moses and the people, connected naturally with the functions of the high priest as meditating between Jehovah and his people. The command is fulfilled. Leviticus 8:8. They pass from Aaron to Eleazar with the sacred ephod and other pontificia. When Joshua is solemnly appointed to succeed the great hero lawgiver, he is bidden to stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall ask counsel for him after the judgment of Urim. And this counsel is to be determine the movements of the host of Israel. Numbers 27:21. In the blessings of Moses, they appear as the crowning glory of the tribe of Levi. Thy Thummim and Urim are with the Holy One. Deuteronomy 33:8 and 9. In what way the Urim and Thummim were consulted is quite uncertain. Josephus and the rabbins supposed that the stones gave out the oracular answer by preternatural illumination. Preternatural illumination. But it seems to be far simpler and more in agreement with the different accounts of inquiries made by Urim and Thummim, 1 Samuel 14:3, 18, 19, 23, 2, 4, 9, 11, and 12, 28, and 6, Judges 20, 28, 2 Samuel, to suppose that the answer was given simply by the word of the Lord to the high priest. John 11:51, when clothed with the ephod and the breastplate, he had inquired of the Lord. Such a view agrees with the true notion of the breastplate. So, the Urim and the Thummim was a communication device. So you could communicate, the high priest could communicate with God and ask God what to do and what the answers was, either yes or no. So we're going to continue on in our Father's Word. This is Exodus 33, verse 11. So the Lord spoke to Moses face to face as a man speaks to his friend, and he would return to the camp. But his servant Joshua, the son of Nun, a young man, did not depart from the tabernacle. Then Moses said to the Lord, see, you say to me, bring up this people, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, I know you by name, and you have also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray, if I have found grace in your sight, show me now your way, that I may know you, and that I might find grace in your sight, and consider this nation is your people. And he said, my presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. Then he said to him, if your presence does not go with us, do not bring us from here. For how then will it be known that your people and I have found grace in your sight, except you go with us? So we shall be separate, your people and I, from all the people who are upon the face of the earth. So the Lord said to Moses, I will also do this thing that you have spoken, for you have found grace in my sight, and I know you by name. And he said, please show me your glory. And then he said, I will make all of my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim the name of the Lord before you. I will be gracious to whom I will be gracious, and I will have compassion on whom I have compassion. But he said, you cannot see my face, for no man shall see me and live. And the Lord said, here is a place by me, and you shall stand on the rock. And so it shall be, while my glory passes by, that I will put you in the cleft of the rock, and I will cover you with my hand while I pass by. Then I will take away my hand, and you shall see my back, but my face shall not be seen. Now this is Exodus 34. And the Lord said to Moses, cut 2 tablets of stone like the first ones, and I will write on these tablets the words that were on the first tablets which you broke. So be ready in the morning, and come up in the morning to Mount Sinai, and present yourself to me there on the top of the mountain. And no man shall come up with you, and let no man be seen throughout all the mountain. Let neither flocks nor herds feed before the mountain. So he cut 2 tablets of stone like the first ones. Then Moses rose early in the morning and went up on Mount Sinai, as the Lord had commanded him. And he took into his hand the 2 tablets of stone. Now the Lord descended in the cloud, and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of the Lord. And the Lord passed before him, and proclaimed, the Lord God, merciful and gracious,